Like it or not, YouTube boxing has become a multi-million-pound industry. If you told me 10 years ago that a 50-0 world champion boxer Floyd Mayweather would fight Deji and Logan Paul, two YouTubers, I would not have believed you. But here we are in 2023 where YouTubers are selling out arenas and reviving what was the saddening downfall of boxing. So let's rewind to August 2017 where it all began. Joe Weller uploaded a YouTube video where he's boxing his friend Theo Baker for a little bit of fun. Now of course, the boxing match was carnage. The YouTubers had no experience whatsoever. But that was expected because YouTubers can't be professional boxers, right? Enter KSI. I will fight the winner, he says. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Joe Weller won the match and instantly Joe vs KSI was a trending discussion, but this time it was going to take place in a sold out London arena. Very quickly, what started off as just two friends boxing became very personal. The arena sold its capacity of 8,000 seats with the average ticket price being £66. The fight had odds being offered by the majority of bookies and £100,000 was bet before the fight even began. All this just to watch, honestly, two pretty terrible boxers in the ring. But not to mention, the YouTube live stream surpassed 21 million views in total. To put this into perspective, this fight was almost as big as Tyson Fury vs Deontay Wilder #1, which surpassed 24 million views on YouTube. Now this was the beginning of YouTube boxing events where we had undercards of other YouTubers like Nissan Gibb and JMX. At the end of the match, KSI won and he called out the Paul brothers, Logan Paul and Jake Paul, to fight his brother. Now the Paul brothers were the perfect opponents to take YouTube boxing to the next level as they had a big audience in the US. And this is where the US versus UK rivalry began. Now match after match, YouTube boxing was seeing an increase in popularity, but KSI vs Logan Paul and Jake Paul vs Deji was where things really went worldwide. The craziest thing, the second fight statistics put the first fight to shame. The first event took place in 2018 in a sold out 21,000 seat Manchester arena and was watched by 1.3 million people through pay-per-view, making it the largest non-professional boxing match of all time. Jake Paul beat Deji after a close match and Logan and KSI drew. So of course, a rematch had to happen and Jake Paul needed a new challenger. Now the hype for this rematch was unreal. KSI, who was first seen as the underdog, could now have a good chance of beating Logan Paul, who on paper should beat KSI quite easily. And after 2 years of waiting, in November 2020, we got our answer. But this time, it was a professional boxing match. The hatred between these two fighters were real, and if you were to tell me in 2023 they're going to have a successful business together, Prime Hydration, I wouldn't have believed you. Logan Paul vs KSI 2 had 2 million pay-per-view buys. Not only that, celebrities like Justin Bieber, Post Malone and Wiz Khalifa were in the crowd to watch this matchup. This fight ended up being the 5th highest grossing pay-per-view of all time in boxing. Yes, all time. It led to KSI and Logan Paul both getting paydays of $900,000 each, minimum. This of course led to some controversial opinions from professional boxers as they weren't happy that these boxers were earning such big paydays for fights which weren't of the highest standard. Paydays in boxing are actually a lot lower than a lot of people will expect, with the median salary for a professional boxer being around $51,370 per year. Now only 1% of these professional boxers earn over $1 million a year, so obviously you can understand why these pros were infuriated by the amount of money that YouTube boxing was bringing in. But anyway, KSI came through to win his fight and a Nissan Gibb lost against Jake Paul. But despite these wins, Jake Paul was still seen as the little brother underdog and wasn't good enough to fight KSI yet. But after a hectic couple years of training, JJ took a break from boxing for 2 years to focus on YouTube and music. For Jake Paul though, this is where the rise to greatness began. Nate Robinson, Ben Askren, Tyrone Woodley and Anderson Silva. 1 pro basketball player and 3 former professional MMA fighters with pretty impressive records were Jake Paul's next opponents. Win, 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 win. Jake Paul was now the one to fight as his last fight guaranteed him $1.5 million and his opponent Anderson Silva $500,000 before the fight even began. From 2020 to 2022, Jake Paul carried YouTube boxing and he was the one that was going to be KSI's next opponent. Fast forward to the 27th of August 2022 and JJ is back like he never left after winning 2 fights in one night. Oh, he also created his own boxing promotion, Misfits Boxing. So why is Jake not fighting KSI yet? Well, JJ wanted to build his way back up into the boxing scene with a couple of warm-up fights before he fights Jake Paul, but I think this does show that Jake Paul isn't quite the underdog that he used to be anymore. In fact, Jake Paul might be the current #1 of YouTube boxing right now. Enter Tommy Fury. After countless cancellations in the past, we are finally about to get one of the most anticipated YouTube boxing fights in the history. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. Brother of Tyson Fury, the stakes are high if Tommy loses this one. The winner of this will make history in the YouTube boxing industry. Tommy has a professional record of 8-0 and Jake Paul has one of 6-0. So by the end of this, someone is going to have a 1 on the end of their name. But who is it? Will it be Tommy Fury versus KSI next, or Jake Paul versus KSI? Thank you very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please subscribe for more content to come. And yeah, thank you.